Hey, Kelsey, Norm MacDonald here. So, you have a podcast, huh? Fantastic. You know what I always say? You know what the world needs more of? Podcasts.
Live from the Screwball Whiskey Studios, The Kelsey Hudgins Show.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, live from the Screwball Whiskey Studios. Indeed, how the hell are you? That's SKREW ballwhiskey.com. Tomorrow's stories begin right here. Hashtag Get Screwed, at Get Screwed on Twitter. Hashtag Screwball Whiskey and at Screwball Whiskey on Instagram. Go and follow them. And go on down to your local liquor store and get yourself a couple bottles of Screwball peanut butter whiskey. You'll wish you had two if you only get one. And as always, drink Screwball whiskey responsibly. You know, all of the other peanut butter whiskeys are posers. Screwball peanut butter whiskey is the one and only original peanut butter whiskey. Record Crate, Adam in the house. What's up, buddy? You know what? I've heard a lot of people say these things like, oh, you know, I drink the other peanut butter whiskey because I like to stick with the little guy, you know, not those big companies like Screwball. Well, let me go ahead and let you know that I know on good authority, because my brother is one of the employees of this company, that Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey employs 9 people in the entirety of the company. So if you look at who owns a lot of those competitor peanut butter whiskey companies, you'll find out who the little guy really is, and you'll want to support the little guy. Go get yourself a bottle of Screwball whiskey or two. You'll wish you had two if you only get one. I hope you all are doing well. Follow me on the internet if you haven't. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't. At Yonder Wizard everywhere. I think I've changed all of my social media shit except for Instagram since I've seen you guys last. I have done I've made Yonder Wizard everything. So yeah, at Yonder Wizard all over the place. Screwballwhiskey.com, DramaCityProductions.com /Kelsey Hudgins Show. Also, I haven't uploaded audio to my podcast in forever, and you know, I probably should do that, but I just haven't. So anyhow, I hadn't heard this intro song in a while. Letting it play out a little bit. But anyway, you know what they say about letting an intro song play out a little bit too long, you know?
Well, safer than a tube sock.
That's right. So, how the hell are you guys? How have I been, you ask? Well, let's talk about it. Anybody who has watched any episodes of this show in the past knows that I have weird brains. to say the least. I am a weird-brained person, very strangely brained, and sometimes that gets the best of me, which is okay. You know, it happens to the best of us, quite literally, that, you know, sometimes we just get the best of ourselves and our brains get ahead of us. And sometimes I forget personally, sometimes I forget how powerful your brain can be. And you kind of sell it short on what it's capable of at times. And then whenever it realizes that you're undervaluing its potential, it'll just say everything is wrong. Everybody hates you. You're in the way. And then you're like, for real? They don't think that. But do they? And man, that "but do they" is a strong fucking feeling, man. Which I know it's not true. I hope. You see? I'm not even sure myself right then. But yeah, so my brain gets the best of me in a lot of occasions, and anybody who has watched this podcast knows that about me. So enough about that. I will tell you how that has been changing lately. As of late, I have been doing things that is totally outside of my realm of normalcy, as I've said in the last couple of episodes that I've done. And I've been going back and forth to Austin a couple times, 3 times this year to be exact. And each time I go, I miss it more than I did the time before that. And I have found myself very much missing Austin now. And I never thought I would say that, you know, being from here in Murrells Inlet, which I love. You know, Murrells Inlet is my home. And Murrells Inlet will always be home. And, of course, I'm from Bennettsville, but Murrells Inlet is home. Like, Bennettsville is where my parents live. But Murrells Inlet is the home that I found. You know what I mean? Like, I lived in Myrtle Beach with some friends and then Garden City. But Murrells Inlet is the home that I found, you know, for myself. And this is just home. And I know this place will always be here for me if I need to return. But, man, Austin is pretty incredible. And I know that I can validate that it's great because I am making an effort to go there. And anybody who knows me personally knows, what's up, GG in the house? Anybody who knows me personally knows that I have a very hard time with going anywhere. Like, I don't like to leave my house. What's that Earl Sweatshirt thing? I don't go outside. I hate people. Anyway, yeah, I don't do things like that. This is totally out of my realm of normalcy. This is out of my character, and I couldn't be happier about that because I think I've been due for quite some time now. That I've been due, you know, for some change, you know, a little change in the trajectory of my career. And of course, there's nothing wrong with living here in Myrtle Beach area and playing songs, you know. Thank you so much, GG. I appreciate you, buddy. It's there's nothing wrong with, you know, with that. Let's see if we can do this here. And there we go. How's that? Give you some chats. Give you some chat. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with playing music here in Myrtle Beach. But I tend to wonder, that if I've been doing this, thing for so long now, I haven't been doing it this long I haven't been doing it. What's up, Soupy in the house? What's up, my dude? Yeah, I haven't been doing this thing for this long to stay here. You know what I mean? Like I haven't been putting all this time and effort into doing this thing in Myrtle Beach here just so that I can stay here and play cover songs, for the rest of my career. And like I said, man, I love this. I love this place. I love my job. I love what I do. I love that I've been given the opportunity to do it in such an awesome area with such awesome bar owners, and I'm very lucky to have been put in the situation that I'm in. So by that I mean it's hard to walk away from. But I floated the idea around last year before the pandemic of like, man, what if I were to move to LA? I'm really getting interested in comedy, and I'm writing jokes, and I'm getting laughs in the Discord and on stage between my songs when I say them there, and then just in front of my friends or whatever. What if I could do that? So I had that thought before the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened, of course. And I took a year, basically, not really a year off, but I took a few weeks off during the shutdown, and there was no pressure. Anytime I didn't want to do a gig or didn't feel comfortable doing a gig, I could just say, hey, I don't want to do this. And, there was no pressure. So, I needed that, I think. I needed a year of that, just to calm down, like not trying to overdo myself, whatever have you. So anyway, after a year of that, and then the quarantine happens in LA, and it ends up moving all of the comedian people that I wanted to go out there to be with to Austin. It was literally like, hey, meet me halfway. I know what you guys are thinking. You've seen this before. You've heard me say this before. So I will skip past all of that nonsense and just skip right to the next decision that I've made. And I've told the people around me, the people that are close to me and that need to know, that if things go well in Austin, I may not come back. And I'm saying that after, like I said, after I've already informed my agent, the bands, my family, like everybody who needs to know has known that I might not be coming back. And I'm honestly, I love it. Like I said, I'm not going to say I love it here anymore, because let's just understand that, okay? So I don't have to keep saying that. Yeah, I might not come back if things go well in Austin, and I find that I can keep my head above water out there and just do that for a couple years out there before I can do more than keep my head above water, then I'm going to do that. Those are my intentions, and I'm sure I'll still be coming back here to do random gigs here and there, for special occasions and things like that. And but yeah, for sure, Austin has won me over, man. And every time I go back, crazier things happen. I think I've done an episode after every time I've come back, and it's every time crazier things happen. Like for instance, the time before last, I'm standing on the roof with Red Band, and all of a sudden in walks Joe Rogan, and I'm shaking hands, having conversations with Joe Rogan. Thank you so much, Adam. I appreciate it, man. I'm hoping for the best. And then, this time, I'm standing on the roof, and in walks young Jamie, and I'm hanging out with Red Band and young Jamie, and I'm standing on the roof having a conversation with the two most successful podcast producers of all time, basically. And I'm, sitting here just hanging out with them on a rooftop, listening to them talk about tech and stuff like that. And I'm just in these circles. I'm accepted into these circles. Like, I'm being introduced to these people, and it's weird, man. It's so weird when people that you have spent so much time watching, and you've consumed so much of the content that they have put out over the years, that then you meet them and you're talking to them, and it's like, dude, this is your life now. And then Red Band keeps telling me, like, if your flight gets canceled, let me know. And when he said let me know, the way that he looked at me when he said that was to insinuate that, you could just stay out here, right? And I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like this Austin situation I don't think it can go bad. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like the deck is the deck is, what's it called? Not fixed, stacked. Is that what it's called? Is that the term? Gigi, for real. It's surreal. Absolutely. By the way, Gigi here. One of my virtual cohorts in virtual Red Band. For those of you not aware, brother Gigi from Gigi stacked in your favor. There you go. Gigi's got an online store with a bunch of really cool stuff that I'm a fan of, like the occultism things and stuff like that, and it's pretty cool. That's right, Virtual Red Man Squad. But yeah, man, I'm really interested in what this is going to be like, because you never really know when you're doing something that's absolutely life-changing. Like, you never know when you're gotsgifts.com. That's right. That's the one. Go check out the stuff over there. All kinds of cool trinkets. You never know when you're doing something that is going to mold your life so much. And I want to take a moment to talk about this. And I've probably told this story before, but maybe not on this podcast. Maybe I have. Who knows? But if I have, it bears repeating, because tonight on Kill Tony, Ron White was the guest on Kill Tony tonight. And that is relevant because the first episode of Kill Tony I ever watched was the Ron White episode where the band dressed up as the Blue Collar Comedy Tour guys. Ron White was late getting there because he was hammered ass drunk doing Joe Rogan's podcast earlier that day. Now, this was when Joe Rogan's show was still alive. And I was watching the Joe Rogan episode with Ron White live, and they were getting hammered ass drunk drinking number one tequila, Ron White's tequila. And he mentioned that he was going to be doing an episode of Kill Tony that night at the Comedy Store, live on YouTube at the Comedy Store from the main room. And I was like, I'd heard of Tony. I knew who Red Band was, obviously. And So I was immediately interested in, I want to see how this goes because Ron White is fucked up, dude. I want to see how this ends up. So that night, I watched the first episode of Kill Tony I've ever seen, which was the Ron White episode I just described. And, man, right then I was hooked. I went back and I watched an episode with, like, Bert and Tom and a couple of those because I was really into those guys when I was first getting into the West Coast comedy stuff. So watched those episodes, and then Brody had just passed. So I saw a few episodes with Brody at the beginning in like the very early episodes. So I was like, man, I think I might love this show, and this might be the greatest thing I've ever seen. So I went back and started watching from episode 1 so I could see a couple of those Brody episodes. And after I did that, I was like, man, this show is fucking amazing. And I have literally found my favorite thing ever now. So Ron White led me to Kill Tony, and Kill Tony inevitably saved my life. I say that a lot. I'll explain what I mean when I say Kill Tony saved my life. I was not in a good place. I quit drinking about 5 years ago, about 5.5 years ago, I guess. And after I quit drinking, I replaced that. And this is not news to anyone who's watched any episodes of this podcast before, because I've talked about it a lot. But quit drinking 5.5 years ago, give or take a month. And after that, I started doing a lot of cocaine, and I picked up a pretty nasty cocaine habit. And after I did that for maybe a year or more after I quit drinking, and then about, a couple years after that, I was just kind of like squirreling away stuff, like trying to get caught up on, years of just being a jackass and living like a fucking idiot. And I ended up doing a halfway decent job of that, but then I was like kind of losing purpose a little bit. I was just doing the same stuff. Like I was writing music a lot, and that's right, Gigi. But I was writing a lot, and I'd kind of hit a wall with some of the writing that I was doing, and I just wasn't really getting anywhere. So then I just go into one of those dark holes where I just, don't talk to anybody, and I don't communicate with anybody. And this is before I was doing Discord, obviously. So, I wasn't even interacting with people online or anything. I was just sitting at home binging scary movies and podcasts and playing shows and coming straight home. And I'm like literally not communicating with anybody. Just kind of went to myself and just dug myself into a cave inside myself. Did that arouse anyone? Just kidding. But seriously, I literally just dug within myself and just kind of worked on who I was as a person, because to be honest, I think that I'd always lived with people, and I have a very strong tendency to try to bend myself to other people's specifications, and I was always that person to just try to be whoever I thought they wanted me to be, and I don't think that's safe. So what I did instead was I just, went inside to try to figure out what I could do to fix this issue that I had in my own head. So in doing that, I ended up finding the podcasts that I ended up listening to that started getting me into the more of the comedians that I like now. Back then, and I'm so glad that I did that, because I had started doing my own podcast around that time. We were doing the Sunset Grill stuff with myself and Noah Byrne and my old roommate Blair, who manages Creek Rats right now. Played at Creek Rats yesterday for the 4th. Happy 4th, by the way. Fuck. Haven't said that yet. Happy 4th for America. Let's see. Do we got any fireworks? Close enough. So that's kind of funny. So yeah, we're doing that podcast, and that kind of gave me a little something to live for, gave me a little rumbling of something to live for. But doing the podcasts and then just like picking up on after the Sunset Grill thing, picking up with the MI Stuff podcast, which those episodes are still out there. If any of y'all want to go dig into a lot of just me self-reflecting and finding out who I am and hear how different I was 3 years ago just by how I talked, by all means, go watch the MI Stuff podcast. All those episodes are on YouTube still. But anyway, after a while, that just gets to be, I'm staring at this camera doing this a couple times a week, mostly by myself. Every now and again, I'd interview a friend. But, man, that just got to be the monotonous as well, and I just get bored too easily. So I started thinking, what am I doing? Like, is this what my life is now? And is this all I'm gonna be forever? And I'm just fucked now, because that kind of paints me into a corner, and I do not like that at all. And anyway, I started to fall apart a little bit because of that. And then, thank God, I found that episode of Kill Tony with Ron White, because I was like, I can dig this. I can binge this thing. So then I started, and I had a Twitter that I used literally to communicate with this talk radio guy that I liked a lot. And that was it. Like, my first 25, 30 tweets are all about sports. And then it gets into Kill Tony, because I started live tweeting while I was watching Kill Tony. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool because I started noticing that people were interacting with that on Twitter. And I was sitting at home by myself. So I'm like putting out into Twitter how I feel about this show that I'm watching. And people out there are like, hey, cool, blah, 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 whatever, interacting with me. So I'm like saying, ooh, people interacting with me about something very weird and niche that I like. And I say weird and niche because in my area, like, there's not a lot of comedy here. And I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of comedy fans, but there's not comedy here. There's not like a scene, like an open mic scene. There's nothing like that here. So, it's something odd for someone in my area, I think, to be into. And I'm starting to realize that I'm communicating with these people on Twitter that are also into the same thing, and that starts to give me a reward, fire off the reward center in my brain to like, oh, this is a good thing to continue doing. So I literally just started live tweeting how I felt about some of the episodes that I was watching, and I documented the entire experience on Twitter pretty much, and I caught up on Kill Tony in like 4 months. And I wouldn't watch a new episode until I had caught up on the old ones. And I know it's not like you're going to miss anything, but I made it a point that I was like, I'm going to watch every episode of this show before I will allow myself to watch one live. So I watched the Ron White episode, was the very first live that I ever watched. And the next live episode that I watched was Big J Okerson, and I think maybe it was Big J and Lewis, but I know it was Big J Okerson for sure. And so however, whatever stretch of time that was is how long it took me to watch episode 1 to that episode. And in all of that time, I had literally just been very active on Twitter, pretty much all about Kill Tony. And I posted in the Reddit, I just watched Kill Tony episode 1, blah, 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 in 4 months. Ask me anything. And Victoria, who's a moderator in the Discord, sent me an invite and said, hey, you should join the Discord. And I was like, cool. So I did that. And I sat dormant in the Discord for a couple of weeks until I realized that, like, they do this every day. You know, this isn't just for Mondays for the show. These people hang out in here all week long. And I was like, well, that's pretty neat. So I started doing that, hanging out in the voice chat and whatnot. And then ended up just being more active in that community and organizing an every night watch party with Valish, the Yams. Every single night we'd watch a couple episodes of Kill Tony because I wanted people to experience what I had just experienced, which is to watch every single episode from the beginning and just get the whole ride. And so many people actually did watch a fuckload of those episodes. They fell off a lot toward the end, but a lot of people watched all of the old episodes and shit, and it got a lot of people active. And I wanted people to experience that as well. So in doing that, we ended up being like promoted into the Discord and into moderation and stuff like that. And it sort of gave me something to do outside of this shit. And that is, in short, it literally gave me a little more something to live for, because I really wasn't like feeling anything at that point. I wasn't trying to do anything. I didn't care about anything, and I didn't want to do anything. But that gave me something that was fun to do, something I was interested in, and I was like, okay, cool, I can help out here. And I don't like to be as specific with what I'm trying to say, because I'm trying to not use specific words and specific terms just to keep, and even when I say it, and I can talk around it and I feel fine with that, but just hearing the harshness of saying things that, you think of whenever you're in a low spot, it just triggers thoughts for me, and I know I'm not the only one of those. So I stay away from like certain words when describing this stuff. But Kill Tony literally saved my life. It gave me a little bit more something to live for. And I started writing minutes in between sets and between my songs. I would just start running minutes. And dude, I didn't care about writing down jokes at this point. Like I didn't care about that. But once I started seeing other people do it, this is my first time doing comedy. Cool, keep getting up, keep signing up, come back. We hope you do better. And then in the early episodes before it became such a roast heavy show, it was a lot of the comedians would give really good sage advice, and that still happens. Ron White gave some great advice tonight in tonight's premiere episode. And man, just it really does. It still does that. And I'm pretty stoked that I've been able to have become such a part of the community that I'm invited to, be there for the 500th episode. And I'm literally accepted into the community now. Like, I'm more than just a fan at this point, I'm actually part of the family, part of the Kill Tony fam. This is going to sound corny. Zach Bogus. Zach Bogus was standing next to me as I was introducing myself to Brandon from Big Laugh Comedy. Shout out Brandon, great dude. Big Laugh Comedy Network. They put out all of the comedy shows that happen at the Vulcan. Big Laugh Comedy is the company that puts all of that stuff on and all those comedy shows. And I was introducing myself to Brandon. I was like, "Hey, Brandon, I get an email from you every week, dude. I just want to introduce myself." And Zach Bogus was like, he's part of the Kill Tony family. He runs the Discord. He's very involved in the online community, and basically it was just like I'm part of the crew. And man, that just made me that made me feel good. So just it literally, as corny as it sounds, dude, I was in a bad spot and I was kind of fed up with everything else in my life, and Kill Tony literally saved me from that. So I owe my life to it. You know, I owe it. I owe it back. I feel like I owe it back, and I'm gonna continue to do everything I can to pay it back for all that I feel like I have gained from it. And I want to be out in Austin so I can help more. You know, I want to just that's what I want to do, and I can't get there quick enough, man. I would leave tomorrow if I didn't have the gigs that I have this summer, and I feel like I to not sound a certain way. I need the money that I'm going to make from those gigs. You know, I need to do that. I do have some new music, and I thought in this episode, since I haven't done one in a while, I've been writing a lot over the last few months. So I was thinking that I would end this episode by playing a few of those songs that I've written lately. I actually have one that I don't even have music for yet. I don't even know if I'm going to do music to it, but it kind of has a sound in my head ever since I've been reading the words. It sounds like something in my head, and I want to see what it sounds like. I haven't put it to music yet. So we'll hear it for the first time together here at the end of this episode. And but yeah, I've been writing a lot, and I'm going to end up recording these originals that I've written lately with just a few musicians. Like, I'm going to bring the American sound into the studio to back me up on these originals that I've got that are a little grungier than the acoustic stuff that I've been writing in the past. And then, I mean, I've recorded acoustic versions of all of these songs because that's what I have to my disposal here that I can record with. I've tried to record the electric stuff here, but I don't really like the way that they've turned out. So we're going to go back into the studio. That's going to happen soon. And I'm going to have an album to take out to Austin with me and pass it along to a couple of my friends and see if I can get a spot playing a gig out there somewhere. And I do want to play music, I think, because the music is part of me, you know, like, it's in me. It's going to have to come out. But I don't want it to get in the way of what I really want to do right now, which is comedy. I really want to do the comedy now. Thank you, Gigi. I really want to do the comedy now, man. Like, that's a thing that I'm just interested in. And I've been writing jokes, and when I went out there, I did the secret show, and I went dead last on almost a 4-hour comedy show. And dead last spot in a 4-hour comedy show, man, like, they were all like, oh, you know, you don't have to do this. And I'm just thinking, yeah, I mean, okay. But I mean, I'm gonna, you know, we'll play it by ear, but I'm gonna. So, what up, Jason? But yeah, dude, Jason actually volunteers for Big Laugh. The guys I was just talking about. But yeah, no, and dude, going up last at a Death Squad secret show that lasted almost 4 hours, I didn't understand why everybody was saying, oh, I wouldn't do it, you know, but I kind of get it now because the crowd is just fed up. You know, they're over it by this point. They don't give a fuck anymore. So, but it was kind of kind of funny, I still ended up getting a few laughs. And just to get anything at that point, because the guys were starting to clear out the room and set up for a EDM show that was about to start. They were about to have a DJ come in, and literally everybody was clearing the room out. And I was up there telling my jokes to literally the staff. And to be honest, that's kind of who I wanted to tell the jokes for anyway, because they had all seen me every night there. I went there every night. The first night I went to Kill Tony. The second night I went to Joe Rogan and Company, in which I saw Joe Rogan, Tony Hinchcliffe, Giannis Pappas, the outstanding comedian Genevieve, who killed both nights, and Tim Dillon. Like, you don't get to see people like that. But I saw Kill Tony, Joe Rogan that night, Joe Rogan the second night, and it was just Genevieve, Joe, and Tony. And then, what's up, Ty? And then the next night, I went back for the Death Squad Secret Show. So that was Death Squad Secret Show. That's 4 nights in a row that I'm at Vulcan. And then the last night, I went to see Eddie Griffin. And so I was there 5 nights in a row. So on the 4th night, I wanted them to at least hear my jokes, to see what to see what kind of act I had, basically. Now, would I have, good to see you, buddy, would I have rather gone up for more than the 10 or 15 people that were still left in the crowd, plus the staff? Yeah, sure. But after I got off the stage, I went up and was like, how'd you do? And I was like, I bombed. And they were like, yeah, of course you did. Like, it's the end of a 4-hour comedy show. And, yeah, so they were all like, dude, balls for going up, man. I wouldn't have done it, dude. You got fucking balls. And my buddy Brett Forte, shout out Brett, he gave me some really, really cool compliments afterwards. He was like, man, for the state of the room and how you went up and in the, situation that you went up in, you did great. And he was like, that's the most honest honest response I could give you. So I appreciated that. But yeah, man, it was just, it was still really nice to just get up there and run my bits and see how people responded to them. Thank you so much, Jason. I appreciate it, buddy. And yes, that set is available on this YouTube channel. It's the very last video that I posted on my channel here. It's a little bit more than a 7-minute set, and I fucked up the wording in a couple of my jokes, but it didn't. I don't think it really changed too much. But I'm curious to see how it'll go next time I go out there and be able to hit some real mics and stuff like that. Yeah. See how that goes. But I guess long story short about all that I've said in this episode is that I'm moving to Austin in October, and I might not be coming back. I'm moving out there to be closer to the comedy scene that I so desperately want to be a part of. And I'm also ever grateful to Kill Tony and Tony Hinchcliffe and Brian Redband themselves, just for being unfailingly kind to me. Every time I've gone out there, they're literally just over the top nice to me. And not just to me, but everybody that I see them interact with. They're literally just over the top nice to everyone that they interact with, and they're amazing people, and I want to be closer to them so that I can help in any way that I can, because I do feel like I owe Kill Tony something for all that I have gained from it. And I'm ready to do that. And I'm going to take some cool original tunes out there. What do you say we grab a guitar and let's grab the guitar real quick. And I don't have it out, so I'm going to have to get it out of the case, and that's going to take a second. But while you wait, how about a word, not a word, but how about a word from a little fishing show ditty that I recorded. I recorded this for a fishing show that my buddies were going to do that never ended up happening. But anyway, here, I recorded this. I'll be right back. Let me grab my guitar and get some of these words, lyrics set up because I haven't learned the songs yet. I don't know. Let's see. I know this guitar is way out of tune. It's not as bad as I thought it was. Anyhow. Yeah, it's not as bad as I thought it was. Anyway, let me look through here. I think I got some of these lyrics on. What do you say we just go back and just we'll do a couple of the ones that I've actually have gotten the words to. This album that I'm going to do, I think I'm going to call it Yonder. I think this album's going to be Yonder. I thought about calling it Texodus, but I think that's kind of corny. But sort of the vibe of this album came with the recording I did of End Up Over Yonder. And so anyway, I've talked enough already. I'm going to play the songs. Could wander, just might end up over yonder. Till now I've been just fine with standing here. Hold on, I fucked up. We're doing it live, folks. Figured I could wander, just might end up over yonder. Till now I've been just fine with standing here. From Much I've tried explaining, not for nothing I've tried changing, but I reckon I'm not much for shifting gears. The life of ease I squandered, let seek out what I ponder, in a poor misguided head forsaken death. Much I've tried explaining, not for nothing I'll try changing, and my rugged heart is beating through my chest. Anything not here's a mystery, and I'm wondering who'd miss me if I loaded up my horse and I headed west. These roots I've put down weaken, and I'm picking up a beacon. My rugged heart is beating through my chest. Last thing I expected was to end up disconnected. After all, this is the place where I was forged. Strong as hell, pulled from the surface, hotter than the fire that birthed us. All the ones who know that pain is worth their reward. Figured I could wander, just might end up over yonder. Till now I've been just fine with standing here. Fucked up the lyrics in the beginning again. Just kept on going though. Figured something out. Anyhow, let's end up over yonder. That was the song that I wrote the first time. Like, I just had that line stuck in my head. I figured I could wander and just might end up over yonder. I did this thing. I went walking on the beach for a stretch of time, and I did it for like 2 weeks or something like that. I would just go down to the beach at like midnight and just walk. And I had that thought. I figured I could wander, but I just might end up over yonder. And I love yonder. Like, I love that name. I love the way it sounds rolling off the tongue, yonder. I like the way it sounds. So, and it's a very interesting word to rhyme with. So I went down that road. But let's see. We got a couple. I had a couple more that I wanted to go over here. I have one, Gigi. I got one called Demons in My Blood, dude, that I'm going to do last here. Yeah, I did, man. Thank you. Let's see. I also I know I'm forgetting some of these songs maybe, but I'm gonna do like 3 or 4 of them. But Anyway, I wrote this song on my birthday. I always get really depressed on my birthday. And anybody who I've ever talked to is I'm like, yeah, my jokes. I guess I'm funny in person and in real life, but like my music is they're all the songs are pretty sad, I think. But I wrote this song on my birthday because I know that I'm not the only one that feels this way. So I wanted to document it for the sake of those who can't say it or don't have the voice to. So I wanted to. Anyway. Never know why I was so goddamn sad. Depression is the worst thing I ever had. Can't figure out why it all happens to me. If the reason is clear, then I just can't see. Hoping for a turnaround in my black soul. Pray to Jesus that it happens before I'm old. When I'm way too tired to try to carry on. Thinking about where I was when I wrote this song. It's my birthday. And I don't even wanna try, I'd just rather be alone. I'm just much more comfortable at home. It's my birthday, and I'm the only one alive from the house I grew up in, and now I'm haunted by the ghosts of the rest of them. Everybody tells me I ought to get help and understand how to take better care of myself. Take these pills and talk to some guy that don't give a fuck if I live or die. Go outside and try to get some sun. Stop aggressively avoiding everyone. Everybody'd love to see you coming back around. Hell, you used to be the one that would run this town. It's my birthday. And I don't need. Brian Rossler said he'd rather feel everything than nothing at all, and I'd have to agree. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. I am lying here in bed and it's raining bad outside. Why does the thunder always make me wanna write? It's my birthday. Now I've worried y'all to death, but you shouldn't worry though, 'cause I plan to walk to the end of my road. It's my birthday. All I wanna do is sleep and get high and watch the Braves doze off and just waste away my days. Never known why I was so goddamn sad. Depression is the worst thing I ever had. Can't figure out why it all happens to me. If the reason is clear, then I just can't see. Hoping for a turnaround in my black soul. Pray to Jesus that it happens before I'm old. When I'm way too tired to try to carry on. Thinking about where I was when I wrote this song. It's my birthday. I don't even wanna try, I'd just rather be alone. I'm much more comfortable at home. It's my birthday, and I'm the only one alive from the house I grew up in, and now I'm haunted by the ghosts of the rest of them. It's my birthday. 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 Fuck that one up too. I wrote that song on my birthday. That one's going to be on there on the EP that I'm going to record. There's another one here. right? Birthdays are just the worst sometimes. I really like the way minor chords complement each other. I'm trying not to rely on the lyrics because I know the words to these songs. I just haven't learned them yet. So this is what it's like to feel inspired, like something I've been working for is nigh, a turning of a chapter, reading on to find what's after, finally wanting to live more than die. I stood in one place longer than I'd like to, and I reckon it's come time to move along. If just to test the waters, hush in my mind the evil mutters. For once I'll try to really hear my song. If home is just a place that you remember, then in your mind it's not allowed to change. Nothing ever stays the same, and then you hunt something to blame. And there ain't no prize in placing fault on time. I guess it's just something like a feeling. When the axis shifts, it's time to travel on. If it's comfort that you're seeking, brother, let me be your beacon. 'Cause in my heart you're always part of home. I figured it would happen sooner or later. Get too bored to think it otherwise. I still love the gift I'm given, though sometimes it feels like prison. And I wanna pick on something more my size. Oh, wrestled with my demon till I wondered, what if this is something I should prove? So I sat right down beside it, and in each other we confided, then parted ways like tired old friends do. If home is just a place that you remember, then it's not allowed to change like I've let mine. Nothing ever stays the same, and then you hunt something to blame. And there ain't no prize in placing fault on time. I guess it's just something like a feeling. When the axis shifts, it's time to travel on. So if it's comfort that you're seeking, sister, let me be your beacon. And in my heart, you're always part of home. There's a valley you can find out past the tree line. And this time of year, it glows in vibrant greens. Oaks strong and tall stand guard out on the edges of the yard. And the smell of rain just dances in on the breeze. There's room enough for any who might wander into this place that we've kept for so long. So if you're weary from your travels, then come down off your saddles. I guess it's safe now, welcome home. If home is just a place that you remember, in your mind it's not allowed to change. See, nothing ever stays the same, and you can hunt something to blame. But I tell you now, there's no prize in placing fault on time. I guess it's just something like a feeling. When the axis shifts, it's time to travel on. So if it's comfort that you're seeking, darling, let me be your beacon. 'Cause in my heart, you're always part of home. That song's called Home. There's a line in there that says, for once I'll try to really hear my song. I'm talking about End Up Over Yonder. Because that was a song I wrote before I thought I was actually going to go do it, you know. I fucked up a couple of words in it. It's hard to learn your own songs. It's a lot harder to learn your own songs than it is to, learn other people's. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I've never put music to this before. We're going to try this. This is a song called Demons in My Blood. And I wrote this when I was just the best place to write from. I see you, Valish. The best place to write from is a place of like angst and confusion. Like you don't know how things are going to go. You don't know why certain things are happening, and you're just confused. You're just confused a bit, you know. That's the best place to write from, man. In my opinion. So, I got to feeling that way the other day, and I took advantage of it. There's a burning through my veins, like if a river were a hurricane, made out of fire and brimstone or just plain hate, dimming down every piece of light that's crept in before it fades tonight, making sure that you don't see a goddamn thing. Now they've showed me how it ends. You won't believe my story, friend. By both God and man, I swear by the things I've told. They play games they think are fun, but I got demons in my blood, burning offerings on an altar made of my soul. Ushered in that awful smell from the deep, dark pits of hell, like ammonia dumped on a pile of rotten meat. Fearing nothing I have seen in both daylight and in dream, bartered off something that I should have never got to sell. Shunning all I've let get close, trading real life folks for ghosts. Hell, my closest friends for years have all been dead. Garden gates with silver chains, fortified with hurt and blame. And if you think you're getting inside, friends, you're out of your head. In every story comes a time, especially in ones like mine, where the simple human mind just cannot comprehend. If it's proof that you'll ask for, I could give you that and more, but you'd walk away and somehow you just forget. If I could show you from my mind what I'm feeling all the time, man, you'd wonder how on earth a man even gets through. It might as well be pumping mud, 'cause I got demons in my blood, and I'm starting to wonder now who's possessing who. I might as well be pumping mud, 'cause I got demons in my blood, and I'm starting to wonder now who's possessing who. I might as well be pumping mud, 'cause I got demons in my blood, and I'm starting to wonder now who's possessing who. In every story comes a time, especially in ones like mine, where the simple human mind just can't comprehend. If it's proof that you'll ask for, I could give you that and more, but you'd walk away and somehow you just forget. I could show you from my mind what I am feeling all the time, and you'd wonder how on earth a man even gets through. Might as well be pumping mud, 'cause I got demons in my blood, and I'm starting to wonder now who's possessing who. I don't know what to do with that one. The first thing that came out, I think might be the way to go, because that's just how it came out naturally, just that. I really like that melody and the I got demons in my blood, and right now I'm wondering who's possessing who. Harder now. Yeah, I like that. I don't know. That's still like that's the first time I've heard it on music too. So, I wonder. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want it to be, I want it to, dude, that just feels like Tom Waits. Yeah, that little, and also remember that I'm just doing this on acoustic to find the bones of the song. Like, this is going to be an electric guitar. This is going to be like big guitar solos. This is going to be loud. This is going to be with my full band, the drums band. So this is just like and the way I hear it in my head is like a distorted vocal almost, like a vocal through a megaphone almost. You know, like a whisper through a megaphone almost, like just I really like that whole, they play games they think are fun, but I got demons in my blood. Just like almost overpowering the speakers a little bit. I don't know, maybe not. Thank you so much, Stash. We had I had a cancellation tomorrow. There's a hurricane. There's a hurricane. There's a hurricane coming, y'all. There's a hurricane. There's a hurricane coming. There's a hurricane coming tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but this week it's going to be a pretty good bit of rain. I'm actually the first gig has been canceled already. I'm sure that there more are coming. But we'll see. Should be all cleared out by Thursday with a cornbread gig. I haven't posted my schedule for this week yet in my Discord, and I usually do that every week. But I haven't done that yet. Let's see. Do I have anything else that I've forgotten about that I thought hurricane season was over. I love that so much. Oh, you know what we haven't done in a while? What I haven't done in a while is another song that will be on that. Another song that'll be on that album. Stosh, this is a nod to some of those guys that we like, some of those old country guys that we like. Okay, so I had a thought that back in the day, it probably, because when the country shut down through the pandemic, and everybody had to rely on unemployment and things like that, I felt like that was the modern version of the bread line. You know, when people had to like back in the day when there were no jobs to be had and people were relying on bread lines. I was watching there's this baseball documentary I've seen 1,000 times, and I was watching it over and like, you know, where and then the narrator is like, where in a time where the country's unemployed, we're relying on bread lines to stay fed. Baseball players were emerging. You know, baseball was emerging, and people could find work traveling around playing in these travel baseball teams. So basically, it was like people were eating off bread lines back then, and I was like, man, that's a fantastic like thought. Like, think about like we're pussies. Us, this generation, we're a bunch of bitches, man. But back then, hard men, you know, like men who worked hard for everything that they earned, were still forced to eat off of bread lines and things like that, and that had to be just so demeaning to them. And I was like, what would a man who had been forced to eat off of a bread line, how would he feel if he was, you know, doing everything he could and And I'm sure that these men wrote songs back then, but I think that people today forget that that era existed, especially in music, because not many people in new music are writing things about those people who actually, were very integral in the makeup of this country, for lack of a better terms. Anyway, I wanted to give them a voice. Anyway, I like the finger picking style of this, and it's like a nod to some of those old country artists that myself and Brother Stosh likes. Work hard all evening, can't get ahead. Ain't much I got left, and I feel already dead. If only I had me a home and a bed. Till then I'm eating off the bread line. Come Monday morning, whiskey on my breath. Got dirt under my fingers and blood on my vest. Hoping soon that I might can find me some rest. Till then I'm eating off the bread line. Work hard for my dollar, work hard for my name. Bend my knee each morning to the Father I pray. For when I meet Jesus in mansion I'll stay. Till then I'm eating off the bread line. I stand here a-looking first thing every morn. I walk up and down both the cotton and corn. Come harvest, I got real big plans for myself. Till then I'm eating off the bread line. Work hard for my dollar, work hard for my name. Bend my knee each morning to the Father I pray. For when I meet Jesus in mansion I'll stay. Till then I'm eating off the bread line. Till then I'm eating off the bread line. A little bread line. We'll end it on a happy note like that. We'll end it on the happy note of a hopeful situation of a guy who in the beginning of this thing is forced, to eat off of a bread line for, he's forced to rely on another man for his food, and that's a prideful thing, that really hurts the pride. That really hurts the pride, and I'm sure that it had to for someone back then. So, wanted to give him a voice. Yeah, Sassy Frassy. I think that old Juby Valish and Elmo listening to that around a campfire and somewhere around Colorado might not be a bad thing. Thank you, Jason. Nick would have been, yeah, right. No kidding. Musicians need to have better stuff to write about. See, I took advantage of that, man. I put all of my feelings into words pretty regularly during that period, so I took advantage of that. But let's see. Do y'all have anybody have any questions or anything here before we get off? Anybody want to talk about something or anything we didn't go over? Grandparents were badasses, Scooter. It's good to see you, Brother Scott. It's good to see you, Sassy. Brother Jason, appreciate you, my man. Always good to see you. Appreciate your interaction on the interwebs, on Twitter and such. Valish, Nick, Stosh, Gigi. Everybody's been in here today. It's been an old motherfucking family reunion, dog. I don't know who you are, Twitch commenter. If you are a real person, sure. If you are a robot trying to get me to do something like those Twitch bots always do, then no. A quick question. Go ahead. While we wait, how about a little bluegrass song that I recorded for that same fishing show? Also, light them up if you got them, folks. That's what's happening right now. Light them up if you got them. Do you think chocolate labs are at all aware of how dangerous it is to lick their own balls? Nick BK, everyone. I love that joke. Well, I guess that we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Gigi, it's Monday night, so I'd imagine that I might be seeing you online in some time. So if I do, I will see you then, and if I don't, I'm off tomorrow. So maybe we'll be doing that. Right on, Scooter. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Stosh. I appreciate you. And come hang out with me in the Kill Tony Discord at killdiscord.com. I spend all of my online time there. If you're watching this, you probably already follow me on everywhere on the internet. But if you don't already, at Yonder Wizard everywhere. Love you back, Sassy Frassy. At Yonder Wizard everywhere. 2 Z's and an E in Wizard. And as always, go to screwballwhiskey.com. And not only that, go to your local liquor store. Go to your local liquor store and say, I want 2 bottles of Screwball whiskey, please. And when they say 2, are you sure that will be enough? You say, well, Yonder Wizard told me that if I only get 1, that I'll wish I had more. And the person at the liquor store will probably say, man, folks that come in here, they usually get 3 bottles because 2 ends up not being enough after you find out how delicious Screwball peanut butter whiskey is. So you know what? Go ahead and get yourself a few bottles of Screwball peanut butter whiskey, but always remember to do so responsibly. Drink Screwball whiskey, but drink so responsibly. And as always, in a world full of shitty people, don't be one of those people. Be a good person. That's all I got for you, folks. Be good people. We'll see you now. Bye. Yeah, and he touched my penals, and then we went and ate some chuckling.